Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We come to you live every weekday morning with blessing, community, music, Torah, friends. It's good to see all of you. Today's broadcast 1190. It is day 426 of the war. I hope that you and yours are safe and well. It's good that we bring together so many people from so many places to learn together, to be together, to say good morning to each other. So let's make sure we do that. Natalie and Carl, it's good to see you. Hi, Ron. Hope that you are well. Let's see who else is here. Shari, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Hi, Lisa. It's good to see you. Boker Tov. Sharon, nice to see you again. Arlene, Hineni, me too. Me too. Anna, it's good to see you. Hi, Judy. We'll give a second to say hello to a few more people, and then we're going to get started with blessing and Torah. Jack and Amy, Siona, Boker Tov. Hope you're feeling okay. Ellen, nice to see you. Hi, Sharon. Okay, let's take a breath, sing a blessing, learn some Torah. Ya la 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 la, diddy ya la la la. Diddy I lie 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 lie, I la lie lie. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. La'asok b'divrei Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah, hafoch ba v'hafoch ba, la'asok b'divrei Torah. Diddy I lie 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 lie, diddy I lie lie lie, diddy I lie 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 lie. Ay, la, la. So good morning, friends. It's broadcast 1190. It's day 426 of the war. It has been a hard week. Many of us have been actually connected or feel connected with the family of Omer Nutra. Many of us, friends, have been hurting. And many of us have redoubled our efforts thanks to the strength that we bring each other and our community allows us to demonstrate to the world, to push forward a message that we have been shouting 426 days in a row. Bring them home now. In this week's Torah portion, VaYeitzei is a profound moment, a shift in human agency. I'd like to share that with you. In the dream that Jacob has as he lays his head down upon a stone, there's a ladder from earth to heaven. God is standing right by Jacob as the angels ascend and descend the ladder. And God makes a promise. It's a version of the promise that has been made to Abraham and to Sarah, to Isaac and to Rebekah. And in this moment, God makes a version of that promise with Jacob directly and says, I will be with you. Literally these words, I will be with you, ushmarticha, and I will protect you, and I will return you to this land, and I will not leave you until my promise is fulfilled. What more blessed words could there possibly be for Jacob, who has been running for his life and feels deeply vulnerable, has been threatened by his brother, he has lied to his father, he has lost the presence and protection of his mother, to then be scooped up into God's arms with this kind of glorious promise that if only we could receive. I will protect you, I will be with you until this promise is fulfilled, I will not leave. Jacob must have just waited to hear that. must have just soaked it in. And yet what he responds to God with should shock us, should instruct us. It's so powerful. Jacob says, and look this up, I know it sounds like it's not in the Torah, but trust me, it's right there in this week's Parsha in chapter 28 of the book of Genesis. Jacob says back to God, okay, if you protect me, and if you keep me safe while I journey, and if you give me the food that I need, and I return home, then you will be my God. It is the ultimate chutzpah, and it is a profound model of human agency, even in light of divine promise. We know, friends, from our current lived experience, 426 days into war, with 100 hostages still held by terrorists in tunnels in Gaza. 426 days. For all the promises made in the Torah to all of the matriarchs and patriarchs, for all of the goodness and resilience and strength and righteous intention that so many bring to their work, brought to their work, will bring to their work, for all of the goodness and all of the promises in the Torah from God. This is a moment where we need to show up as human beings. As Adele just said she did, meeting with elected officials in Richmond, Virginia, to educate them as to our needs. To do the work over and over, as my colleagues at UJA and countless other good organizations have been doing. Because we cannot rely on a divine miracle. Even the Talmud says that. Ein somchim al hanes. We don't wait for God's intervention to make sure that the right thing happens. We must, as Amy's son Jacob does, we must be bold. We must be bold. And when people say the most beautiful things, the most necessary things, the most forceful things, let's hold them to those promises. Okay, that sounds like a big blessing to my community, to me, to our family, and especially to the hostages. That sounds right. If you fulfill that, then I'll believe you. Verify. Jacob shows God a kind of hineni that is different from other kinds of hinenis. Not only I am here, I receive and I will obey. It is I am here and I expect you to fulfill what you promised. I know it sounds like a much later response, but it is right there in chapter 28 of the book of Genesis. God, that is a beautiful blessing. Thank you for it. Fulfill it. As Richard said, pray as if everything depends on God. Act as though everything depends on you. And yes, Michael, that is a classic geopolitical approach, and it turns out a theological posture for humans. Trust but verify. We are called to be agents of these divine promises. Not to weaponize them, not to act triumphantly, never to believe in some kind of supremacy by some of God's images. No, we are all equal images of God. These promises, friends, these promises in this Parsha, it's everything we need. If only it had always been true. And so now the question, friends, is, will we hold all of our leaders to be faithful to their own rhetoric, to make sure that we show up to remind them not only of the promises they make, but of the values they are called to uphold? That's our role. Human agency matters. Divine promises, the rhetoric of leaders, it all sounds so good. But Jacob models for us what it is to say, okay, let's see that happen. Then you've got my loyalty. Accountability matters. even to you. I say with reverence and chutzpah myself as I look up to the heavens, and I invite you to do it too. Okay, God, you promised. You promised. Bring them home now. And help us be strong enough to do that. It's time. It is far past time. 426 days. It is far past time. When we sing Hatikva right now, friends, I want you to remember something essential about what Zionism has represented from its inception. For a long time, friends, 2,000 years of wandering and powerlessness, we waited for the Messiah. And the religious language in most communities around the idea of a messianic time and an envisioned third Jewish commonwealth was when the Messiah comes, that's the beginning of redemption. The earliest Zionists were anti-religious because that was an untenable, unacceptable posture, culturally and religiously. And they said, we are not waiting for God to send the Messiah for us and our children to be safe. Zionism was the embodiment of a determination, Jewish determination, for Jewish dignity and safety. Eventually, religious leaders saw the holiness in that posture. Eventually. Pioneers like Rav Kook, and in the United States, Rabbi Yosef Soloveitchik, and other leaders. It took us a while as religious people to recognize that waiting for God is sometimes the least holy way to be. To channel God, to demand of God, to be agents of holy promise. That's what it is to be Bnei Yaakov, the children of Jacob, Bnei Yisrael, as his name became. We are called to make sure that our religious consciousness never translates as passivity. We are called to be active in the pursuit of a holy life, active in pursuit of our children's safety, active in pursuit of the world as it ought to be. We do not rely on miracles, as the ancient rabbis taught us. Ein somchim al hanes. We do not rely on miracles. We are called to be the miracles. May we be blessed, friends. May we be blessed to be agents of blessing and to hold our leaders accountable to the blessings they have promised. Sing with me on this 426th day. Sing with me and then act. Kol hod baleva Nima Nefesh Yehudi Homia Ulefate Mizrach Kadima Ayin Letzion Sophia Olo Avda Tikvateinu Hatikva bat shnot 2000 Liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim Liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.